audio down. Check for everything else. All right, maybe this will work. And there's a lot of stuff I have to do if I know I'm not on time.
You may find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
RADIO, as in hello, RADIO. Is this the page I want? That's the page I want. The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio is glowing in the dark, and I don't know. It is our hottest day of the year right now, today, and I think most of the people that hang around the studio here, with the exception of a couple behind the monitor, are out in the green room where it's air conditioned and over at the pool, and maybe likewise for our listeners and perhaps tube radio operators. The last thing you might want to do when it's 106 degrees is sit in a room full of tube radios. Well, we will find out, because it will be a little bit cooler in an hour and so where we start checking in the radios. But in the meantime, let me say my name is Dennis. This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Real Radio is glowing in the dark. 27085, channel 11 is where we are at live, if you want to try that. We did hear Dwayne a little bit earlier before the net. I was out with 1017, and Dwayne popped in for a couple of transmissions, so we'll see if we get some conditions. In the meantime, we always have conditions right here for our local stations, and that's you, and even you, and we'll get checked in that way. A little bit late. I redid the antenna, so I was up on the roof in the heat, but I think it will work. The noise level is down. Things seem to be quiet, but hopefully not quite enough that we won't hear you. Standing by, we've already got a couple of check-ins for SWL 24 and SWL 56. Looking for any early check-ins right now. Over.
Break OTR.
Break OTR, go ahead. Over.
Yeah, hello, Dennis. 53 checking in, brother.
All right, 53 checking in. Let's see if I can get you on the SWL list, and it looks like you are there. The ever-popular Bel Air, the legend, looking good.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Still in the trees.
Also, what is our... I've got their 00 as 195. Are you listening, Jim? All right, got you both right now, and we'll get that checked in. So thanks for listening, and go back where it's cool.
Dennis, 650.
And 650, yes, indeed. All right, I think I'm going okay, and I haven't broken anything yet. There's items of interest up on the video chat. Looking for the audio. We have 7 minutes, 78 checking in, 67. All right, we're good to go, up and running. I hear the jingle sing as we will get SWL number 1 as usual, and also SWL number 2, who may or may not be listening in tonight. But yeah, OBP is there. If you're up at the video chat, wish Oscar Bravo Papa a good Saturday evening. Let him know he's 9 pounds and good modulation at Chestnut and Herndon. And is there bacon? I don't hear the bacon frying sound like we had last week. SWL 82, are you? He's online. Let me get 82 checked in, and we'll talk a little bit more about when we get up to 82, in case he needs a quick check in. SWL 3. SWL 5 did old radio night. When I checked earlier, there weren't on. He wasn't on, so I'm not sure. I'll have to go see if maybe it was delayed or there's something going on out there tonight. But we will get Mr. JT checked in. A lot of our stations follow over from old radio night, so If you were out there and tuning in, hello to you. SWL, who's next? SWL 7. I will get a proxy in for number 7. Then we're running up to number 9, the ever-popular 982, Dirt Dog.
How about it? This is Dirt Dog 982.
982 Dirt Dog, you are sounding loud and clear here in Fresno this afternoon. I'm putting a big X in the square here at the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for checking in. Over.
All right, thanks, Dennis.
All right, good deal, and I'll be able to. I should have checked my receive with that great signal. Let's go to SWL at 10. I see the Jumping Dolphins. Hello, Chrissy, 10 and 30 checking in. Well, 10 is right there, and 30 we chatted with before the net, sounding good. I know he's going to have all the radios up and running, looking for the Old Tube Radio Network on the short hop skip. 007 Extreme CB, where did they put the bling? We got a massive box of bling. Oh, there. All right, it's not here in the control room, but 007 Extreme CB is checking in. He's for his checkup, and then he's checking out, rolling out tomorrow for a ham fest. Where at? In New Jersey, in Florida, in Tennessee. I'm not sure where the ham fest would be, but I'm sure you're going to have lots of goodies for the attendees. Thanks for care package number 3 in a series of who knows how many. SWL10 is in 11 and 12. Of course, Dan and Dapper Dan, Mr. Cornbread. And, you know, I don't know if I look and or feel dapper, but even though it's 100+ degrees outside, sitting here in the air chair just gives me a little bit of dapperness. Maybe not as much as I need to catch up with Dapper Dan, but we will see what happens. SWL13 Mikey, who sometimes I can hear if he tries the Crossband. It is up, running, and I am listening for that. Sometimes he checks in at oldtuberadio.net, as has SWL78. He's in warm, wonderful Wildemar, California. I wasn't on 40 meters today at all, but I did hear Richard a couple of days ago, evening and the afternoon. He's got a good signal here on 40. So, Richard, if you're listening, I'll get you checked in right now. Let's go to Sangertown once again for SWL 14.
Hey, evening, Dennis. Hope everybody out there staying cool. I've been doing a lot of irrigating today, and glad to get a chance to fire up the radio this evening.
Indeed, yeah. This what is it? Evapotranspiration is the word, and when it's this hot for this many days, you've got to get those little plants something to transpire out of their out of their little leaves and roots and all that good stuff. You are sounding good tonight. Got you checked in, and we've got some spaces for you on the radio side if you want to do that.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, sounding good. Sounding good tonight. I don't have the big static. We'll keep our fingers crossed and hope that will not happen. Thanks. Direct-to-net roll call is what we're doing. The tube radios follow after that. Good morning, good very early morning to Hans SWL 15. Checking in, looking good. And I see you on my list from all the way from Copenhagen, Denmark. And if you're playing the home game, you should be on week number 3 for 7/12/2025. And 16, Compilot, I see out there, SWL 16. I like the way you do that. You're only inches away behind the monitor, but yet you can use whatever device you're doing to go through the Universal Media Netweb and show up on the page. And he says, don't forget to. Yeah, I had to close the drapes in the back. We had a lot of sun coming. It was kind of washing out the camera such that it is. And thank you. Thanks for checking in, Charles. Let's go to SWL 17. SWL 18 gets a check-in from Facebook earlier this week. with the cue cards and using them rather than holding them up. He's kind of fanning the air around here. It's actually not too bad. That's not too bad in here, considering it's 100 and something outside. Got Chet checked in from Derby, New York, by way of other places. Yeah, I'm glad we went to those larger cue cards. It feels pretty good. SWL 20. I think Harvey said that he would be maybe around somewhere. I'm looking to see who's listening in. Hello to Belfast, Maine, Plymouth, Minnesota. Somewhere in Oregon. Tustalin? I don't know. Tualatin, Oregon. I don't know if that's Bill or not. Lake Elsinore, we know that might be. And Centerville, Virginia, and the unknown. The unknown SWL might be Harvey in the mobile or listening in somewhere. So, Harvey, you are checked in, and you will probably be on before we jump out of here tonight. SWL 21 SC from Old Radio Night on the YouTube page. Look for 21S.C. I'm thinking you took a hiatus tonight. Maybe you are out of the air chair. But there are plenty of streams and perfect videos to take a gander over on the site. So people should do that. See what goes on. See what goes on in a real Radio Shack. Unlike the one you may be looking at right now. So thanks for joining us tonight. SWL 22. SWL 23 Skidoo could be lurking out there somewhere. Charlie says to go ahead and check in 23 Skidoo. What? He sent an airmail via paper airplane. Is he in the studio somewhere? That could be for some interesting times. SWL 24 Joseph checked in moments ago. SWL 25. I'll guarantee it's probably way too hot to be in the air chair in the SWL 25 Radio Shack. I want to check in while he is here on the net. SWL 147. That is Neil in Kakalaki. He says it's hot and really humid. Well, here's hot and really dry. Just go outside and get soaked. So I guess that is one bonus when it's hot. Typically, when it's hot around here, the humidity is, I'm going to say below 30%. Could be more, but probably should be out like that. Radio very quiet. Yes, indeed. We could pick up a little skip before the program tonight, but it's certainly quiet now. Not quite in the gray line, so I expect some activity coming up. A little action on AM and lower sideband, just static today. All right, Dr. Jazz in North Carolina, thanks for the report. So I know my radio isn't broken. That's just the way it is. Directed net roll call. We're on page 2 now, looking for SWL 27.
27 is checking in live on the FM Crossband with
I caught you.
A lot of feedback here. And I have 99.6 degrees. It went down a little bit. And a little bit of breeze outside here in Studio G. Number 27 is checking in.
All right, Studio G, you surprised me. I figured you would not be in Studio G, but I guess if it's below the triple digits, you will brave it out. You are sounding good. I caught you on the crossband. We've got the feedback confirmation. And as always, thanks for checking in. I was sorry I missed the meeting last night. It was the OTR version of the Fresno Amateur Radio Club, and I had to work late. Otherwise, I would have been there probably with a Heathkit DX60B and some chocolate chip cookies. And now I got to wait a whole nother year. Anyway, have a great rest of your evening, and thanks for checking in. KB6GFD.
Dennis, thanks. KI6QL.
That is Dwayne from the Crossband, and there is also it's sounding good 13 KB6GFD. That was
checking in.
SWL 13 checking in on the crossband, and 27 as well. We'll pick up 13. At least that's working tonight. Sometimes when it's really hot, the FM signals do weird things. I do see SWL 23, so I will give Mr. Skidoo a check-in. He is at the workbench tonight. What's on the workbench? What is played out on the workbench tonight? Restoring an SBE 200X microphonium. I will have to see if we have a picture of that. SBE made some very interesting radios for ham stuff and some really cool stuff for CB as well. So me thinks that microphonium attaches to some very cool looking radio. Good luck in getting all the little pieces and parts and pin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or whatever it is back in the right spot. We're heading down the road a piece where I bet the Delta breeze saved you guys from big-time 100-degree weather, but maybe not. The wind was blowing the wrong way most of the day today. Gary says 28 checking in, 80-degree Delta breeze pushing in. Wow, that's 20 degrees lower. I would think it wouldn't be that way, but I enjoy it while you're there, having cinnamon cookies and ice milk ready for a smooth show. I bet you're dunking the cinnamon cookies into the ice milk. That sounds good. What did they bring me? Water. Milk and cookies, please. I'm putting my order in right now. Thanks, Gary. Got you checked in. Also, SWL 29 with a proxy. SWL 30 listening in on the Browning, on the Robin, whatever radio he might have. He's already made the trip here once this evening. Have to turn my page to keep it going here. SWL 31. Robert and Teresa are in. In fact, I think I saw them go by on my page of page. Let me scroll up and see what's going on that I have missed. Foxman 362 in early. Also, Bill Curtis checking in from Wilmington, North Carolina, at the top of the net here. Thanks for that. Talking about Canadian bacon. I missed that conversation. All right, some people noticed that I was late in getting up the updated program. I think if you click on the link now, it will be correct. I was late, and I noticed that it was the wrong date, but if you click on the link now, it'll give you the current program. You won't be watching a rerun from last week. I see SWL 69. That's Kenny. So he was on and checked in, and I think we've got a report, a Kenny report when Joe checks in. So see what's going on that way. In Rockwood, Tennessee, it is clear and 72. You know, it always seems to be in the mid-70s or mid to lower 70s in Tennessee, no matter what time we're checking in with everybody. Albert Yaki saying hello to all the SWLs and old tube radio operators. The Squamish Boys waving tonight on the RCA 428 and UDX 256. I didn't get a chance to check into the Ditchbanks sideband net last night, but bravo on making it through from the mobile a couple of weeks ago. Maybe you guys made it in last night as well. Who else is? Ken, UDX 111. Hello, Ken. Thanks for joining us in tonight. Want to see who is jumping in. Arlen, SWL 46. Let me get you in right now in case you have to leave early, but it's good to see that Wisconsin is on the list tonight. Oh, and okay, thunderstorms. I get it. Thunderstorms over in South Carolina tonight, so being safe, and that's a good way to do it. So no program for the old radio night. Robert and Teresa, 31, looking good. Who else? I'm just making sure Dennis is jumping in there. We'll catch him live and direct. Private Thor looking good. I don't know. We just might have some conditions when the sun goes down. And yeah, Richard's saying, get your ham license and join in the fun. You know, Cycle 25 isn't going to last forever. So there's always skips somewhere on one of the ham bands. So think about doing that if you're not studying already. Also, hello to Ontario CB Radio Club, 90C, the DX group. The video is ready. So half hour long. Look for it. I don't know, where can we find the video? Can we Google Ontario CB Radio Club? We will look to see what that's all about. Eastern Kakalaki is looking good. Liking to check in Bootlegger's Revenge, 987. Hello to you. And back to the generic and general radio roll call. SWL32. SWL33. Myself, Bozo Control. And Chet is saying, why don't you go to the little... Okay, I can do that. It should be this one right here. Then people can see that they're getting checked in, and I can make sure that the meter is working, which it sort of looks like it is. And all that good stuff. Very quiet. It's just very warm here in Central California, so a lot of people are hanging out where it may be cool. SWL 34, that's Jimmy, of course, working on all our great Facebook pages, Railroader and Captain Chaos. Get them all checked in from Cheyenne, Wyoming, and I'm going to update the refresh comments. I'm really looking forward to hearing Bill on one of the ham radio frequencies, or maybe having him check in here live and direct from the Red Monkey Communications booth. If you're listening, Mr. Bill, we got you checked in. Let's go to SWL 36, and that is UDX 111. Ken, saw you in earlier. Let's make it official with the SWL 36 check-in for UDX 111. Where is your QTH? Where are you located? I think that's it, but I don't have it listed on the paper here. I always like, if people are near and far out, to put the QTH in there.
Right.
And the break, go ahead, over.
61.
Hey, 61 sounding good. I hope you are not melting out there, over.
I'm good, thank you.
All right, and we are good as well. Thanks for checking into the Old Tube Radio Network. And my chair, did the leg wheel fall off? I feel like I'm listing off to one side here. SWL 37.
Yes? Yeah, hang on just a second. SWL 37 checking in, Dennis.
All right, I hear you. I was trying to adjust my chair, and it still is kind of wacky. So, well, I guess they say we'll catch it at the break. So thanks for checking in, and stay cool out there, over.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm in the house where it's nice and cool.
All right, well, it's good that there is a place that actually is cool somewhere here in Fresno. Thanks for checking in.
All right, Dennis. Talk to you later.
Yeah, for those who are looking at the July 5th program, I got the link up late. So what you'll have to do is go ahead and stop what you're doing, and then just back out. X that out, and then go back to the page. Let me check and see if we got the right. Oh, it says July 5th. I thought I put that in. Wait a minute. We're gonna put it up. It says July 5th. I thought I put that in. Wait a minute. We're gonna. Oh, you know what it is? It says July 5th. I thought I put that in. Wait a minute. Okay, there's instant replay. Oh, you know what it is? It says July 5th. Let me turn that off. I just love that. I've got the wrong date. I'm not sure. Is that something we can update? Am I able to update that without screwing stuff up? Let me see. I'm going to go back one page here. No, it says July 12th. Live now. So why is it July 5th? And then why does it have the audio? So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened. And now, now the page is off. Let me go back to this one. Let me go back to that one. Are we back? Okay, I think we're back with the excellent connection. All right. Anyway, it says the right date, July 12th. They just have to update. Just have to back out and come back in. But if you're seeing, you know, if it is July 12th. You hear me say July 12th, it's July 12th. Thank you, Chris, for checking in. Let's go to SWL 38. Man, don't ever add pictures to radio. It gets it gets confusing. Just bring out your 5-tube CB radio, a little bit of coax, and your microphonium of choice, and you'll be good to go. Don't add all this other stuff. It just confuses things. 38 Sam, are you there? I'm going to get you checked in because I know out in beautiful, where are you at? Byron, California. Down the road and behind the big hill. Well, we'll probably never hear you. SWL 39. Somebody said to get a check-in for Dr. Dan, who we haven't heard in a while, which I will do. All right, I saw one of the celebrities checking in tonight. Where'd he go? Rob. The back out and the back in frequency, checking in from beautiful, what do they say, Whiskey Alpha Charlie Oscar, or somewhere near that. Good to have you. We are getting great Texas weather here in the form of, about 105 or 106, although hopefully not the great Texas humidity. It is good to hear you on the air, and thumbs up for the attempt. The valiant attempt on the field day situation. I may try to do something like that. Find a small corner in the yard and bring out the portable radio and a battery and some lemonade and do field day like it was meant to be. Anyway, thanks for joining us here on the Old Tired Tube Network, Channel 11, 27085, and elsewhere on the Universal Media Netweb. Here's a station that is probably hiding in the giant igloo ice chest, SWL 40. Or he's out on a bike ride somewhere, which is not the place that you would want to be. Let's head over to New York. Road Dog 507, SWL 51. And OBP, I think we're 7 hours behind. I'm not sure if we're ahead. The break OTR, I hear you up in Course Gold, over. Oop, I thought I heard you. Was that Tony? There was no audio that time. All right, I think that's Tony. You have you had audio, but you have no audio, but I'm going to put the X in the square for 145, over. All right, if you got a battery microphone, check that battery. The Old Tube Radio Network, we're on page 2 somewhere. Let's go to, I got to keep my eyes on the radio, eyes on this computer screen, eyes on that computer screen, and eyes on that computer screen, and then everything else around me. Let's go to SWL 42. Got a note for a proxy and 42 in the gang, which I will do. SWL 43. Shortwave listener 44. Mr. 360 around the corner and up the street. Eric on 14 Zulu Golf 51. Is that like Area 51 somewhere? SWL 45. Paul and Kelly listening in, I hope. Staying cool, no doubt. And looking forward to you guys being able to get on the air. But thanks for tuning in. SWL 46. Well, we did get Arlen out of Wisconsin. There's the official 46 check-in. Thanks for listening in. And here's the guy that's probably skedaddled out to cooler climes if he can or does have the opportunity. SWL 47.
Oh, please. How can you taunt me like that? You know I like doing that, but no, I'm stayed in Fresno, for heaven's sake. Why are you taunting me?
I don't know, because I'm jealous, because I figured you had done that, so now I don't feel so bad.
Well, is that a challenge? Are you trying to say that I need to do that next Saturday night?
I don't know. It's one of those things you got to be, like I say, you got to be ready to go, get all the necessary accoutrements, and then away you go. But see, the problem is on days like this, you're probably going to be in a big crowd somewhere trying to beat the heat. So if you're out by the cement pond, you're probably doing it right.
Well, that's funny that you'd say that. As always, your clairvoyance is amazing. Yeah, the cement pond in the backyard, that's exactly what I was maintaining this afternoon. And for those that are wondering, If you have high phosphates in your swimming pool and you dump a bunch of chemicals in there, don't jump in right after that to cool off. It's just super not a good idea. Anti-phosphate stuff swimming pool, don't jump in after that. Please don't ask me how I know that. Anyways, greetings from the Radio Lounge 47.
All right, well, you've come to the right place. It is not a good to jump in the phosphated pool frequency. And words well taken for those of us who may or may not have some type of cement pond around the QTH. You are sounding good as always. Thanks for checking in. And if you're by the radio later, when it's only 99 degrees, we'll have room on the radio list.
Sounds good, 73.
Direct net roll call, the Old Tube Radio Network is where you are at. Something that a group of us, a big group of us, the shortwave listeners, tube radio operators, net controllers, have been doing on the air since the mid-1980s on Saturday evenings right here in Central California, waiting and checking in and talking about and distribute information about the Class D citizen band radios, those that glow in the dark, or maybe not, something called the Old Tube Radio Network. Something that we decided it was, we needed a place. We needed a place to come by on Saturday nights, kind of decompress for the week and have a chance to jump on our tube radios without the typical hate and discontent that may abound sometimes on the 11-meter frequencies, and get on the air with radios that looked like the 60s and the 70s and late 50s with some demeanor that was likewise, and think, wow, the CB thing, is it a bad deal? All right. Somebody wants to check in, so I will stop talking. The Old Tube Radio Network.
SWL40 checking in.
All right, 40. I was hoping that you weren't on some bike ride somewhere because the sun was out and you wanted to charge the battery. So that is good. And after doing this for almost 40 years, people that have been around, all they have to do is go to an alternate frequency on a different band and clear their throat. And net control will know that they need to shut up and start checking people in. Over.
That's right. This is the squeal frequency here. It's the radio. Okay, so I have to put my hand on the microphone to calm down the squealing. Oh, that's very odd. Anyways, okay, so this is SWL40 checking in from Chinatown. It is 92 degrees.
Wait a minute. Where's that thermometer? It should be hotter than that, and all that cement over there.
You know what? You're right. When I unkey, the thermometer jumps up to 93 degrees.
And you don't even have a tube radio. All right, you are sounding good. Thanks for jumping in. And we will continue with the roll call. Stay cool. I don't know if that's possible, but do your best.
I'm now going to dump a bowl of ice cream on my head.
And a fine thing that is on a Saturday evening. Thanks for jumping in, the Old Tube Radio Network. We are on the 40s looking for SWL 49. And who else is joining us tonight? Beagleman 888, JG Mopar UDX 76. They're coming in from all over tonight. Catalyst UDX 122, just keying up. Saying hello radio on the Old Tube Radio Network. Mr. Nobody. He says, pics of ice cream on the head, or did it not happen? Okay, Larry, they want proof. They want proof of your ice cream helmet going on. And that's Mr. Nobody. I mean, he's got the signal coming in from the northwest, so you gotta make sure that you please Mr. Nobody. Let's go to SWL 50. SWL 51 out in Sangertown.
51 out in Sangertown, checking in.
All right, sounding good, beaconing in. Boy, I'm just enjoying the clear, quiet no static frequency tonight. I changed out the antenna. I don't know if that was the problem, but boy, it sure sounds good. Thanks for checking in.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet out there tonight. Have a good evening out there.
All right, the thing is, though, what's weird is I've got 0 S-meter reading, but I'm hearing people, so I don't know. Maybe the radio is dying as well. Thank you for checking in, Dave. Let's go to SWL 52. Putting a proxy in for 52 who is probably a smart person and is far away from 106-degree temperature with the family, having a good time. With the golden microphone. SWL 53, Mr. Belair checked in early. And I get to change the page. I know it is here somewhere. We've got a proxy check in for Larry, SWL 54. Let's try up the hill, SWL 55. I actually be able to hear 55 this week because I don't have all the noise. Who came in? Who's up at the balcony? A couple of news stations. Hello to Yellow Springs, Ohio, Middletown, Ohio, and somebody. They're very shy. The door closed, and I didn't get to see their badge. Let's go to SWL 56 just for kicks. Phil checked in moments ago over to SWL 57 out in central Kentucky. Waiting for the internet to catch up for Brown Dog Audio, who may or may not be out there. Let's see, Levon. Did I get you checked? I think I did. Let me just go back and put the 5 in the square. Looking good that way. All right, then go back to the roll call where we are looking for SWL 58. That's Jeremy. I'll probably get a nod from 82 to check in Jeremy, which I will. And then this guy, oops, everything just fell on the floor. SWL 59.
You got check-ins on the interwebs.
All right, say that again. Over.
You got check-ins on the YouTube.
I just lost my page here, and so maybe that's why. All right, I'm getting everything reconnoitered. I was looking for, who was I looking for? 59. I was looking at Uncle Hairball, who I thought, he's right there. Checkity check. UDX 786, SWL 59. So I got that check in. And who else? 122 we got. Okay, we're doing good. Over to SWL 60. Hello, Joe. Over.
Hello, Dennis. I gotta say, you're sounding bodacious, buddy. You're breaking my needle. Once again, let's give Kenny a check-in. I'll proxy him in. He called me a little while ago from Oklahoma there. I wanted to be sure to get him in there because he hadn't heard nothing on his end on the computer there. Anyway, SWL 60, checking in.
All right, 60 is checking in. Yeah, I was late putting things up, and then when they showed up, they had the wrong date, but I think everything is sort of okay now. You got to refresh your page if it's showing that it's July 5th. And Kenny actually stayed up a little late to get on the chat window, so he's looking good, and we got him checked in. So thanks for that, and glad you guys got to do the phone call. We miss Kenny here in the Central Valley, but it's good that he can jump in on the chat window as well. Thanks, Joe, for checking in.
Thank you, Dennis.
SWL 61, that of course is the imitable voice of Dino, Copenhagen Kid from way out north. We got him checked in. Over to SWL 62. SWL 63 out in north Georgia somewhere. And Cornbread saying, don't forget to check in Mr. Ed.
OTR.
All right, and there's somebody. So I'll get Mr. Ed checked in. I think I proxied him. And then we'll go over to the Crossband, where the golden microphonium, and we were wondering earlier where the golden microphonium might be. Perhaps you have found a cool spot. Over.
Yeah, I was in my sister's pool, but SWL 52 checking in from the mobile.
KB6GFD. All right, well, I knew you were a smart guy and that you would find the coolest spot possible. So glad you had a good time heading back to the QTH and remembering it is the Saturday night place to be, whether you are AM, FM, or otherwise. You are checked in. Over.
Roger, roger. Thank you, Dennis. K6USY.
KB6GFD. All right, that's the official check-in from SWL52 from the mobile. Doing what a lot of people do when it's 105 degrees in the Central Valley is find out who's got the swimming pool. Who's got the pool and the sodas, right? Direct net roll call. We will, our goal tonight is, of course, as it always is to talk about, distribute information, and listen for those tube radios. And we will be doing just that after the roll call. Let's go to SWL 64, Craig. And Craig is in Wisconsin. Normally he's in earlier. When I scrolled through, I did not see him, but if he indeed is there, I usually double check just to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Let's go to SWL 65. Shortwave listener 66.
Yes, sir, Dennis. SWL 66, checking in from beautiful downtown Sunnyside.
Beautiful downtown Sunnyside. I was looking at, there was some really nice, and there's a lot of really nice houses for sale out in Sunnyside, and I looked at the property, and I'm thinking, boy, this would be a great spot to put up some antennas, because out there in Sunnyside, there's always those bigger lots. Sometimes you can put up some antennas, some wires, the double, triple stacked moon rakers, go to the flat side and have fun. I'm thinking it must be the doldrums tonight on Skipland, but thanks for joining us here on the old tube radio network. SWL 66 has been on our pages for almost all the 40 years, and you're sounding good.
Thank you very much. You have a good night. Stay cool.
Will do. All right, one of the infamous voices here in Fresno in the Central Valley. Maybe you'll hear the witch doctor on your horizontally polarized receiver, or not. Thanks for checking in. Let's go up to Canby, Oregon, and I do believe Richard checked in where he says it's hot. He's got flames on his little meme about 45 minutes ago. So, Bill, it is up and down the coast, the western states here. We are in the heat wave that is supposed to be lasting for a couple of days, so stay cool. And Ken, if I didn't say hello, UDX 111, we did. All right, I just want to make sure. Let's go to SWL 68. SWL 69, Kenny, we got you checked in earlier, but here's the official X in the square, somewhere above my head, I think. Let's go up the hill where it's at least a degree cooler, SWL 70.
Yeah, maybe like 1 degree. Hello, Dennis. 70 checking in. I appreciated your H and D reference. It's right up there with 4 fingers and a thumb and bucket mouth. Brought back some memories.
That's right. There's a vocabulary that goes along with it. I think it was Cletus Maggard in a 1976 or 75 LP has a song with CB lingo. And he has the best description of cotton picker that there is when it's referencing to 11 meters. Anyway, you are sounding good. I don't know if you were at the meeting last night. It was the old tube, the old tube night, and I had to miss it. So that always is a bit upsetting. But here we are tonight, living much better with the tube radios. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you. No, I missed it. And the station in Sanger, I think he said his name is Dave. He's sounding really good here in Prather.
Yeah, Dave's got a great set. He's one of those guys that knows how to put things together and make the audio sound realistic and big. and not like Stockton on the radio. So he's got a decent station. Checking in for a long time. And what else was I going to say? Oh, I was going to remind our listeners that the voice that you, not this one, but the one you heard prior to me, is one of the voices you might hear on the Wednesday night net that happens here in Central California. But the nice thing is it's up on 10 meters, upper sideband at 28,445. I believe that is the frequently. So if you are so inclined on 8 p.m.s on Wednesdays and you think the conditions might be in, or you're close enough to be local to, and you, of course, you are have the license for that band, join us, join him and the net controllers for the Wednesday night net up on 10 meters. And they do take visitor check-ins and check-ins from all over after the normal roll call. So anyway, thanks for checking in.
Thanks, Dennis. 7-3.
The old Tube Radio Network. Let's head over to SWL 71, where I saw the ever-popular Stan was checking in about 2 hours ago. In fact, before the net started. So I'm thinking he probably has something going on tomorrow and needed to check in early. But Stan, if you were listening out there in Dallas, Georgia, we got you checked in. Let's go to SWL 72. SWL 73. Perhaps a proxy for 73. We will do that. SWL 74. And I got a note for proxies 25 and 74, which I will do. Over to SWL 75. SWL 76. Somebody said get 76 checked in. That is Red Fox 1 in Johnson, Rhode Island. We've not heard 76 on for a while, but you know where we're at. Who just walked in? Edmonds, Washington. Clovis, California. Well, you think it's going to be cooler here in Fresno. you just came in for the ice cream. Well, come on down. We have something. Let's go to SWL 77.
Well, Dennis, 77 checking in, and it looks like the meters are swinging and the blinkies are blinking, and that antenna is definitely doing you a much better job than the old one. And it was fun talking to Idaho Control there earlier and getting to wave a hand out that way. Hope everybody's having a good evening. Stay cool and have a great weekend. 77, 1017, checking in.
Sounding good. Great audio, 1017. Looking good. Thanks for the radio check and the help. Dennis was on right after I came in from the heat stroke on the roof working on the antenna and told me, yeah, 3 thumbs up. It's working well, and it's still working, so it hasn't blown off the roof yet or melted. You are sounding good, sir. Thanks for checking in. You've got the X in the square.
Roger, roger.
Direct and net roll call, of course. Tube radios are coming up. If you've got one, just, warm it up a couple of minutes. Don't have to heat up the entire room and check it in. Make the list tonight. SWL 78, Wild Wildemar Richard, where it's warm there, but checking in. X in the square for 78. And Bill is listening in. Did I miss you? Let me do it again. SWL 67. Am I going too fast? All right. Well, here is the redo. The RADUX, the Romeo Echo Delta Uniform X-ray on 67. It should be right above my head with a checked in because you are indeed there. In fact, I saw your flames saying there's Canby was a little bit warm, just like Fresno this afternoon, this evening. Yeah, you thought you could get away from the heat. Well, you do get more rain up there. Let's continue on with the roll call. SWL 79. And DC is probably checked in over on one of my Facebook pages. Philip's probably out there at Central Valley Sea Beer, so we'll get him checked in. Yeah, FRE. Did somebody say FRES, capital N, capital O? You know it. You bet they did. SWL 80. SWL 81. SWL 82. Well, 82 is in. He left a note at the top of the net saying hello, radio, and I wanted to mention, talked about the great Wednesday evening net we have, and then on Friday evenings, 8 p.m., Pacific Daylight Time, if you are on the air anywhere at 27.365, that's 36 lower, give a listen to the net that goes on there, the Ditch Banks sideband net, typically hosted by Ron, SWL 82, with the roll call for the local stations and a spot for visitors and near and far out stations to check in. Raise your hand if you've ever checked into the Ditch Banks sideband net, and raise your other hand if you've checked in from far out. I see the Squamish boys saying yes, out in the Mobile and probably Australia as well. I don't know. Mr. Nobody, are you on the list for Wednesday, for Friday evenings at 8 p.m.? Check it out on 36th or the Ditch Banks sideband net. Got to turn the page to do this right. Let's go to all the way out to Ohio, SWL 83. And then the quadruple play, SWL 84, SWL 86, shortwave listeners 87 and 88. Of course, that's Jerry, Cheerios Kid, Mountain Maid Tandy Girl, and Snowy Owl. Listen for Jerry, 84, on weekdays on the 7.204 megahertz 40 meter band on his old tube radio, being net control for the Jefferson noontime net, sounding good on the Drake, on the multi-tubed Drake. Let's go to SWL 89. Getting ahead of myself here. SWL 90. I'm out of sync. All right, now we're synced. SWL 90. So get a proxy for a 90, which I will do. SWL 91. Felix was in earlier, I do believe. So I'm going to put the X in the square. I'm also going to say hello to Captain Robert. Thanks for joining us. He's hanging out in Captain Robert Central, waiting for the surgery going on. We're trying to restart the kidneys, working the dialysis, but still hanging in there. We are always glad when you jump in, Captain Robert, and say hello, radio. Answer a few of your fan mail here on the Old Tube Radio Network. So thanks for joining us. And again, good luck. Bozo Control honking the proboscis somewhere to get you up and running. Where is Mr. Roman, SWL 92? And here's a station I talked to. Was it on 40 meters? I can't remember. I think it was. He was sounding good on the ground wave, SWL 93. He wasn't quite as strong as he is on 11, but on 40, looking good on the ground wave. Mr. STD out in Clovis. Let's go to SWL 95. SWL 95 is right there, WR4B. SWL 95 checking in from beautiful Orlando, Florida. Good evening to you, sir. Is Kurt jumping in? I wanted to see if he was on the Echolink. I don't see him in there, but I've got to check in for SWL 96. Kurt, who's in Kokomo, Indiana, probably listening in somewhere. Who got you checked in? Yeah, it is Tube Radio Night. We're going to be checking in with Tony, who will be initiating the tubes on the air. Let's go to SWL 97, Boston. Jim, where are you? SWL 98, Tracy, got to check in from Central Valley Sea Beers Facebook page. Looking good. SWL 99. I was looking for Randy on 75. I don't know. I'm missing the frequencies, but Randy, get you checked in. He may stop by. I expect to hear him during our summer short skip. He's got a great station and can usually make it in from Arizona. Let's go to our tubes on the air. I got to see if I can get my... There it is. I got to see if I can get my Echolink link up and running and see if we can't see what's happening at the tubes on the air central. Who are we looking for? Tony, KD4BAO from Kilowatt Bravo 6, Germany, France, Denmark. And Tony, checking
Good evening,
in.
Dennis. Please check in SWL 100. Good to hear you. Back to net control, KD4BAO.
All right, it is good to be heard. We are just trying to stay checked in and checked out with the heat here in Central California. You don't have the humidity like you guys, but you are sounding good, getting ready to rev up the tubes on the air. Thanks for jumping in. Kilowatt Bravo 6, Germany, France, Denmark. All right, and since we're on the Echolink link, let me take a few more before we head on. I talked about earlier. I talked about one of the celebrities, and he's about ready to. I think he's. If you've got the microphonium there, Robin, go ahead and take a transmission, and we'll see if we can pick you up on the Echolink link. KE9SQ from Kilowatt Bravo 6, Germany, France, Denmark. See if he's got the link up. Here we go.
Yeah, let's see if this microphone works. Let me know if you can hear me. KB6GFE, this is KE9SQ down here in Waco, Texas.
Yeah, you're sounding good. It is set up, and the audio is actually very nice. Hopefully, you are surviving the heat and all the other things that might be thrown your way. But good to hear your voice. I'll just let the shortwave listeners know that Robin and I go back very far with trickery using various armature radio gear, Echolink devices, packet devices to link up no matter where we may be. And even though the hiatus has been, I don't know, 15 or 20 years, we've done it again. Over.
Yeah, I heard you mention Echolink, and I thought, well, I've got that on my phone over here. Let me just see if I can connect to you, and it didn't take long to find you. So that's really nice. I could actually get in and actually talk to you for real live when you're on the air. So I won't take up too much of your time. I know you've got a lot of people who want to talk, and you got some tube radios that need to get on the air with you. So I'll pass it back to you, and I'll be happily listening. Take care of yourself tonight, and we'll talk to you soon. KE9SQ.
All right, I gotta press the right button to get the press the talk key bar to go. All right, sounding good. Good to hear you. We will figure out how to join up on some frequencies. Like I said, I know you had the radio up and running for some field day stuff, so I know you're radio active that way. And a good call on the Echolink, working good. We'll look for you next time. 73, and thanks for jumping into the Old Tube Radio Network, KB6GFD. All right, well, that was good. Good to hear Robin out there. We used to do, I can't remember what it was, but it was some type of cross-link connections that would take an HF radio to 2-meter radio through a packet link into the screen and back out, and you could go just about anywhere. So fun stuff on ham radio. Let's go to SWL 102. John, of course, out in Scranton, Arkansas, checking in. Saying hello radio to all the SWLs, and we've got you officially checked in if I hit the right button, which I have. Let's go over to SWL 103. Joey, did you jump in? I know you were there last week. And he is checking in 2 hours ago. All right, checking in right at the top of the net. Joey, here's the official check-in on the air. Tango Romeo 21 X-ray from South Carolina. Let's go to shortwave listener 109. You know, I thought I heard James, Big James in earlier, so I'll get the proxy check-in on 109. It was probably finding a cool spot to hang out. And Peter, I see you. No, 428 was checking in with the Ditchbank's sideband net, and we'll see if we got conditions tonight. We'll be listening. It should be right for that. Let's go over to SWL 110. SWL 111. Robert, sometimes I hear you before the net, but I'm not sure if we'll catch you in there now. Over. And SWL 113. SWL 114.
Trucker.
SWL 114. Get a check-in, proxy check-in for Wayne, and then up we go to shortwave listener 128. And John has checked in about an hour ago from beautiful, where is he at? I forgot already. Fairfax, Virginia. How could I forget that? Looking good and sounding good. Let's go over to SWL 131. Shortwave listener 133.
Virginia, how could I forget? Driving to see my truck.
SWL 135.
The trucker.
See, I think Cliff is decided it's just a little too hot to be in the radio room and turn on some tubes tonight, but were he to do so, we'll give him a proxy check-in right now. We've got speaking of proxy check-ins, we've got a proxy check-in for 137. Tony, SWL 145 checked in earlier, and we do have some questions that we'll get to here at the end of the roll call. SWL 147, Neil checked in with the report that it's hot, humid, and the bands are closed. Speaking of, we got some of our good DXers in. We had SWL 66 checking in a little bit earlier, and on the flat side, let's see if Bobby's gone vertical. SWL 188.
We got some of our good DXers in. We had SWL 66. There's RCA.
That's what we need, some horizontal stuff right now. SWL 195, Jim checked in at the beginning of the net as 00, checking in at 195 right now, and over to Jeff, Mr. 226. And anybody that I may have missed over. From the west side, and no longer the unknown mobile, go ahead.
The trucker, the neighbor trucker.
Yeah, from the west side and no longer in the unknown mobile, go ahead. All right, well, that's the ping that was heard around the world. And I'm looking for, I'll do the questions. I'll look for the questions here. Because I think I have them. They're taking a little longer to load into the machine here, but I know they are out there somewhere. They're taking a little longer to load in the machine, but I know they must be out here somewhere. Here we go. I always do these without previewing them, so I read them wrong, we'll find out. When Samuel Morse, you know that guy, the Morse code guy, when Samuel Morse developed the Morse code, where did he find out which letters were used more often than others? All right, so that's sort of how they figured out, the ones that you use a lot should be easy to do. So where did he find out? Where did Samuel Morse find out that which letters are used more often than others? And there's the multiple choice question that we've got the Bible, the dictionary, a newspaper, or the MIT Language Laboratory. So what it was, Samuel Morse was, in the 1800s sometime, looking at all that stuff. So where would you think that he would find out the best place to figure out which letters were used more often than others. And 23 Skidoo says Chat GPT. Now, if Samuel Morse was a smart guy, he would have done that and then found out that, you know what, this Morse code thing is going to be a pain in the butt, and just left it alone. So obviously that isn't the right one. Beagleman 888 says the Bible. Mark, the newspaper. Let me see. The answer is indeed the newspaper. So thank you there, Mark. That is back in the day when there actually was a newspaper. And Chat GPT was just not reliable in 1846, as reliable it is, these days. So there you go. All right, good answer. We got one more. Was a negative cycle loading in older tube-based AM transmitters? What was, let's do a take two. What was negative cycle loading in older tube-based AM transmitters? And this is like, you need to know this. We're not going to give you a clue with multiple answers. Well, let me put up the screen, because negative cycle, if I bring up the REA meter, there it is. Test radio, or why isn't it showing anything? Hold on a second. Okay, I got to be transmitting, I guess. All right. Anyway, let me go. I got to be transmitting. This one is the what was negative cycle loading in older tube-based AM transmitters. Now, if you're looking at the video, I've got the modulation. We got the positive peaks and the negative peaks. So I think that has something to do with it. But the answer is a way to protect the modulation transformers. Negative cycle loading refers to the process of adding a load during the negative peaks of modulation. Well, what kind of load? I don't know. There is, this is done to prevent the modulator output voltage from dropping to zero, below which can cause distortion and reduce modulation percentage. And that's what we're doing here with some trickery with all the audio gear, so that you have the percentage of modulation on the positive peaks, going asymmetrically up to 125, and then you can see that the negative peaks still stay within 95 to 100. So I don't know if I negatively loaded that, but I negatively think that could be the answer. But there you go, negative loading. I have a feeling that nobody cares anymore. What you do is you take your Turner Plus 3, you put in a new battery, and turn it to 11. And be damned with the negative loading. All right, the Old Tube Radio Network, we're going to be checking in the old-time radios, your old tube radios coming up. So don't go away. Give me a couple of minutes to change in and plug in all the stuff we need to do that, and we'll be back on a very warm, hot Central Valley, California evening. Back in a moment.
Late check-in?
This is the late check-in frequency. Let me go to the screen that actually has the check-in window and get you checked in, and hopefully you are not melting out there. Over.
No, trying to stay out of the heat. Thanks for checking me in.
Likewise. Yeah, I was up actually working. The worst day to do antenna work, and that's what I was doing today, but it seems to have paid off. I'm hearing everything. I'm hearing stuff even I don't want to hear, but that's a good thing. But I do want to hear you, and we got you checked in. Thanks.
Walker. Thanks, Dennis.
All right, we'll be back in a moment. Back in a moment, but first this word from our sponsor, and I can see it's going to be it's going to be an interesting evening. Sounds like my stuff is back a little bit. The clicky noise. Should we get Stan Freeberg? See if we get Stan Freeberg in here.
Sony, because Sony, Panasonic.
All right, we are back, I think, on the old, tired tube radio.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you
Yeah, we're
by
back.
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Good old Tube Radio Network. Here on oldtuberadio.net. Looking good and waiting for the tube radios. On a very hot evening in Central California. Let me get back to the control room here. Somewhere there's a test control. Yeah, that's it. Checking in that, clearing the rigs, and ready for your tube radios. Glowing in the dark, such as they might be. Standing by.
49er.
And 49er. All right, you are braving the heat somewhere. So we're going to get you checked in over.
Just a late check-in, and we're... Hope everyone's well, so thank you for that check-in, Dennis.
All right, thanks for stopping by. SWL 49, Smitty and Sweet Country Mama, enjoying summer in the Central Valley here on the old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for stopping by. And as long as the tube is glowing and you're checking in, you are never too late. Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Greg, saying hello to all the UDXers and the old Tube Radio Network, saying it is time to check in those tube radios, and we are listening.
14, 14, 14.
14 sounding good. Somebody just came in the balcony out in British Columbia, out in Courtenay. Well, thanks for joining us here. The old Tube Radio Network. We're here in Central California, looking for the tube radios, and we have one right now. So we're going to jump in and say hello to Sangertown. Take a transmission if you can hear me, over.
We have an here for trucker. We have an here for truck driver on the truck. Radio shack with an here for trucker with radio shack.
I'm on a new radio for OTR tonight. It is the Citizen.
Truck driver.
All right, I know it's been a while since we have checked in a car D phone, and that is with the big K. I got to find the Rolodex and see that we might actually have that. and I don't know if we have the particular model. It's usually a Tango Romeo, and I'm not sure if I got it. Over.
Yeah, I don't think I found it on there. I think you had the 327 TR327 edition. It's got the stock microphone. It's got a third channel. Just 2 channels. The other thing they did was they put a little orange jewel to indicate that the radio is on. It looks all right. I'm not super on the show.
Well, the 327 and the orange jewel was one of those things that E.F. Johnson did. Had kind of jeweled thing. A lot of the older console wood radios had some type of a pilot light. You could walk in a room and let you know that the thing was on and warming up. What we're showing, and I'll put the full screen page up, is a 327. Actually, it's a nice little radio with the meter, but I have a feeling, and that's from the collection of Mark N5 RPZ, that it might be one of the different models. There was the 327, the 327A, and the B, and I don't have a lot of them. I don't have pictures for. We used to check in the Tango Romeo 333. Which had more, I think that had 8 channels. But they were all kind of similar. They had the dials on the front, this front-fired speaker, and believe it or not, back when we started this, we used to check in a lot of Car D phones, and I'm not sure what happened to all of them. Over.
Yeah, like I said, I looked up.
We want inflation. I vote for inflation. I hate when the dollar, so we have the inflation.
The only real difference, I think, between the 327 and this 326,
because Joe Biden,
bigger emblem underneath the meter. The D phone is about the size of a quarter, whereas the other model with the 6 channels is about the size of a penny or a dime right there.
Can't wait. We have Kamala Harris run for 2028.
The call sign on it is Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's the KFC 4104. And, of course, I thought that was kind of cool.
I want high prices and inflation.
Well, the KFC is a good thing. The radio station I work for has those call letters in it, and a lot of people call up and want to know if we have a drive-up window open. So hopefully that is not the case there. The audio is good. Oops, there we go. All right, let's try this again. The audio is good. Let's see. I've got some. Hold on a second.
I voted for inflation. I run before.
What's your audio, Dennis?
Yeah. Hello. Test.
Because a lot of high gas prices and stuff. I want high gas prices, high money. We want more money. We want to be greedy.
All right, hang on a second. I have a studio malfunction here.
Oh, okay. So we got a joker.
Well, no, that's not the issue. The issue is I've got a studio malfunction. I'll be right back.
Radio. I vote for Joe Biden. 2028. We don't want Donald Trump.
I lost my studio connection here.
The Ford Crown Victoria. The Ford Crown Victoria.
All right, let me get that calibrated. All right, let me get that calibrated. That should be back. I think I've got my calibration back in line now.
Oh, well, yeah, I had no idea here on the Cardiff phone. I didn't know if I lost everything or not.
You know, I lost some connectivity on some of the items here, but I think I've got it back. You should be able to hear me now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got a good copy on you. It's nice and clear tonight.
No, it is nice and clear. I have the static just came back, but it's less than it was, and you are well above the static. Cardi phone. All right, we've got a picture such that it is up on the Cardi phone, and I missed what microphone you were using on that. Over.
This is the factory Cardiphone microphone, and I will say I think this is a really early radio. I'm not sure how early, but I would assume like 1960 or 61.
On the truck driver, on the different truck.
I have as far as the small ones like the gong set. This one seems much better.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if I've got any info on this. 1961 to 62. Power 6 volt DC, 12 volt DC, and 117 volt AC. Usually the clue is on those radios if they will run 6 volt DC. You know, they're working for all the, they'll work in the 55 Crown Victoria on that 6 volt. All the tubes look like 6 volt tubes, except there's a 12 AV7 and a 12 AX7. So yeah, this is the first couple of years of Class D citizen radio where I think some of the manufacturers thought that, people are really going to use this the way they're supposed to be used, to get their license and talk to base to Unit 1 and do the 5-minute rule. And so we'll make a radio that is truly, supposedly, a little bit easier and friendlier to run than your standard amateur transceiver or transmitter receiver at the time. So Carr came out with quite a few different models. The standard microphonium sounding good. I'm almost thinking that would be a crystal microphonium. It's got a lot of high frequency punch to it, but it sounds good for the age. Over.
Yeah, I clicked on the YouTube for a second there when I said, "Oh, we got a joker," and
the FCC wanted FM band.
I think I kind of like the radio. One notable thing is it has the power tuning at the very bottom. So, you sit there and adjust it and get the power up. So I thought that was another neat feature with the Cardiff.
Because we need some, because on the new tube radios, a lot of radio.
Yeah, and again, the nice knobs, the one we're showing, it looks like the original knobs, the black with the pointer, and the ability to probably put your channels on a Dymo label maker, like you said, with the call sign and right over 1, 2, 3, and 4. I want to say who's leaving it. UDX76 has to jump out from Southern California. JG Mopar, thanks for joining us tonight. The Car D phone doing a good job. And I see the underneath at the bottom, the manufacturer, and I can't, let me go to the close-up, but I don't think I'm going to be able to read where it's from. Somewhere in California. I don't know if you can read that, if it tells you where that was manufactured. Over.
It's from California, kind of a local radio, and I did get it out of California. I think it was up in Northern California. So.
Yeah, because every tube radio changed have the rectifier, try to get some more power out, because my rectifier went bad.
In good condition, and apparently the microphone is also in good condition.
Well, it is making audio, and like I said, it's still got some good high frequency into it. So I'm thinking some dynamic, possibly crystal. It could be carbon. They had the carbon microphones, but usually those end up sounding a little bit muddy. What I like, it also has the signal level meter, so not standard calibration from 1 to 10, kind of a level. And it doesn't look like it's in dBm or S meter, but it's probably in lieu of using a magic eye tube. They gave you a meter that's relative to something. So you can be 9 pounds good modulation, you can be 2 pounds good modulation, and still be good modulation. Over.
Yeah, you're a 5 swinging.
There's RCA and all that. With Archer and Radio Shack with the radios. When Radio Shack left the CB market, just like all of it, and Panasonic took over.
Well, it's good to be on the meter somewhere. Squelch, volume, and power tuning, and your channel selector, crystal controlled, of course, and a lot of the radios at that time had the microphone wired in. I'm not sure. I think that was probably to save money. One, you have one less piece to put in there, and two, at the early radios, of course, there probably wasn't a big market, or people didn't think of the fact that you would be replacing a microphone with some other thing. E.F. Johnson, built the base radio with the base microphone, and then the mobile radios with the mobile microphone. So good stuff. I always liked the early radios too that had the screws, stuck in the cabinet, like it was, well, let's just hold the speaker on with these screws sticking out the front. It's easy to do, and it saves money. I wish I had a price point on this, and I don't. But Palo Alto, who would have thunk? I mean, we had some great manufacturers here in California between the Autronics Marina and the General Radio Telephone in beautiful downtown Burbank, Palo Alto. I think for a while the Siltronics were out of Oceanside, the San Diego area, and all over the place. All right, back to you for a transmission. Not sure what conditions are like tonight, but we've got you down as the first radio on the list. And the car is driving through good tonight. Over.
It's Los Angeles, too, Los Angeles. Some of the radio manufacturers are Los Angeles.
When I showed Harvey, he got a big smile, too. It has two.
With RCA and Archer, Radio Shack, and Realistic, and all the Radio Shack stuff.
Back there, that's what holds it in, and they are large. I've never seen a screw.
Because we need to bring up Radio Shack, because Radio Shack kind of killed the CB market.
AFC 4104, thanks for the time tonight.
Yeah, we need...
All right, good deal, and maybe that helped for grounding, too. I've got some pieces of gear that have a lot of screws all through, and that's actually a thing that helps the grounding. But you got to realize that a lot of these were put together. I'm not sure. I'll have to take a look at and see if Carr did some other electronics. Some of these places were radio manufacturers like E.F. Johnson, Hallicrafters, and Hammerlin that were already well into the business of the 1920s and 30s and 40s, and it wasn't too hard to just change a production line. And then there were some other companies like Gonset from Young, Spring, and Wire that were doing other things as well as radios, and then Car D Phone, who knows? It's like, well, if we can build these in the garage in Palo Alto. I think there was another group that were building things in the garage in Palo Alto, probably in the later 60s and 70s that went on to become billionaires, but not so for the ladies and gentlemen at KAAR, but they still live here on the old Tube Radio Network thanks to our Tube Radio operators. Thanks for bringing it by and slogging through the noise tonight, sounding good, and we hope to hear it again.
Yeah, because Radio Shack. Not just Tube Radio. radios when radio shack for the truck.
And Peter, I see you. It sounds like conditions might be picking up 3,000 feet above sea level. Let me bring up the DX map. I think I've got it called up, the one that shows where we are at. But I only want to see 10 meters, so I'll see if I can get it to call up, and that would be sort of a purple, what do they call it, a purple haze. There it is. See, right now it's showing, now this is weird, it's showing that we've got maybe conditions from Southern California and something going on, that's weird, in New York. But we'll see if we can't get another little DX cloud coming up your way in a couple of minutes. The old Tube Radio Network, you're listening. DX cloud coming way.
60.
Hey. All right, we got two. We got 60. Jump into the air chair, Joe. We will take you right now for Radio 2, and then 47, you will be next for Radio 3. Since, according to the map, we don't seem to have far out conditions, but the close-by stations, or any station for that matter, are always welcome. Joe, take a transmission over. All right, Joe, take a transmission. You'll be number 2, and then 47 will be radio number 3. So over to you, Joe. Over.
Here's a truck driver out there, and all the truckers be on the radio all day. Let's say it's channel 6 with a trucker.
TOO. 10 tubes, 10 channels.
We are in the upper traffic. Go back.
All right, E.F. Johnson, TWO, another station. I think they're in, Waseca. I'll bring it up. Hopefully you're copying me through the QRM tonight. E.F. Johnson from the 1920s. Edgar F. Their series of radios starting with the small loaf of bread size Johnson Viking for 10 and 11 meters, and then the Messenger TWO, which was add a couple of extra channels. And what do? They put an AVC control. And let me move to that. And look something like that. Take a transmission.
Yeah, thank you much, Dennis. 10 tubes. 10 tubes. A couple of features on it there.
On the truck driver, on the truck driver.
Channel selector there in alphabet there. Of course, we're on channel C for channel 11. You have your
truck with the tube radio of the few trucker, truck driver having a tube radio on truck.
The A and B, I always figured you had to have good eyesight to figure out what channel you are on for those little dials, which I think are illuminated in the back. So if you're running that mobile, the best thing to do is put the channel you wanted to run at the end of the dial throw. So you knew you could just turn the dial to the edge and you'd be there. Over.
Yeah, we have a truck. We have a tube radio. Yeah, on the truck driver.
I don't see him anymore.
On the new truck. On the new truck driver. On the new truck. On the new truck.
I guess it is perforated in some way, or maybe not. But no, I imagine it would be, because that would be your speaker area.
Yeah, well, they put the front fire speaker because they knew we were probably going to mount it into the mobile radio, but I think it had selection to mount some type of external speaker. It also had a tone call, but it was a separate. It wasn't built in like the general radio telephone. And of course, 5 watt DC input, and they were a good base radio, modifiable. I talked to a lot of stations back when I started in the early 70s that ran those radios. One, they were easy to find in an electronics store. The prices weren't too bad. That's to say they were typically under $150 or around $150. And they were built like a tank. And they're still running here in 2025 over.
Oh boy, no doubt. No doubt, very durable radio, heavy radio at that. And I mean, how should I say?
William, motherfucker! We had a motherfucker, you piece of shit motherfucker!
A little bit cooler than some of the radios I have. But I am on a D104, Dennis. It is an amplified D104, and Harvey installed this one on the side because this did have a cord underneath the radio. It's a jack for the Johnson.
Well, you cannot go wrong with a D104 on most tube radios. I guess the caveat would be if there is some impedance matching the high impedance or not high impedance, and you can kind of tell because the sound will be off. But I think it is yours is done correctly, always sounds good, and doing a good job. We put you down as Radio 2, the Messenger TWO, and they spell it out like a fancy address up on the bluffs. Over.
Yeah, kind of cute there on the front there for sure.
Fancy address up on the bluffs.
Messenger 2, but you better know it as the TWO. Thanks a lot, Dennis, for letting me check this one in. I've got another one warmed up.
All right, thanks for that. Sounding good. Got a little static in tonight, but all the signals are coming in well. Sometimes you never know when it gets over 100 degrees here in the Central Valley. People run around and they get heat stroke. So you obviously are not doing that. You're in the radio room where you should be having a good time on the old tube radio network. The jingle singers are going to jingle sing us into our next radio operator who is standing by. We'll be back in just a minute.
Let's do some spelling.
OTR. 27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio. Old Tube Radio.
And I agree. The best radio, the old tube radio, you can't go wrong on a Saturday evening. Let's head over to 47. And I mentioned you don't have to have any numbers or any prior I've checked into the net stuff, as long as you find yourself seated or standing on one of those fancy standing desks in front of your A-tube radio, plug it in, dial it up, check for smoke, and then wait for Saturday evenings for the old tube radio network. Hello, Mike. You are radio number 3. Over.
Oh, great.
Old tube radio network. Hello, Mike.
D104 microphone. I was going to but I thought, man, I better use this amplified mic just to punch through. But sounds like things have kind of calmed down a little bit. So if you can even still hear me, how about a Robin?
And that is the 1, 2, 3. That is the 1, 2, 3. Over. That is the 1, 2, 3. Over.
Did I not make it out? Don't worry, that Robin's transmitting.
Yeah, what model number is it? What model number is your Robin? KB6GFT. What model number is the Robin? Yeah, what model number is that?
Ooh, why do I feel like something might not be working? A Robin T123.
Yeah, okay. That's the one I brought up because it's got the power of the Magic Eye tube. Over.
Those wheelie bikes, we probably wheelies on the street with an SE bike.
Well, I'm not sure what that other gentleman has consumed this evening. I don't know if you could share on that, but
PK Ripper.
Does have the Magic Eye. I love this Magic Eye on this radio. It was the first thing that drew me to it. This was the
SE with wheelie bikes, a 29-inch fat Ripper wheelie SC bike. It's a good bike out there with pot wheelies.
Please correct me if I'm wrong. 6RE13, is that right?
I believe the 6RE13 is the tube of the evening that you're actually looking into the side of the tube, and then they mount it, I guess, vertically, and then cut a little escutcheon space out of the front of the radio, and that's what you're looking at is the side of the tube. Over.
Oh, great. Well, it looks phenomenal. I used to really enjoy using this on the radio patio, and more often than not.
And with SC and the PK Ripper, when we have out there, bicycles, and all the bikes out there.
That was always fun, but it is
with SC and a lot of wheelie kids, the pot wheelies. We pot wheelies in this town all the time. We pot wheelies in every city.
I guess I don't have the stock mic that came with this. Like I said earlier, this is
Yeah, because we're SC bikes, and we have a Fast Ripper, a Maniac Flyer, SC bike. Every bike out there. Yeah, 29-inch big BMX bike.
Do that type of thing, go out at night, but fun radio to use. Again, the Magic Eye is working.
Yeah, and I SC the wheelie bikes out there. We pot wheelies on the street. We shut down the street to pot wheelies. Yeah, we see a lot of guys pot wheelies on the street. Yeah, but we have pot wheelies everywhere all the time.
For those of you that think it was only this particular type of Magic Eye tube that was included on this radio, boy, there were a lot more than that, and really, really interesting technology. I'm serious on that.
20. This SC bike.
And 20, I hear you. We'll pick you up as the next radio. They were basically in lieu. I'm trying to remember if there's a radio that has the Magic Eye tube in addition to some other modulation light, but they're combined with the meters. Of course, in the 40s and 50s, if you've got some type of radio, you're going to see a Magic Eye tube in it. You've got the Zenith consoles with the shutter dial, all had the Magic Eye tube that was a way to show signal strength. When you were tuned into something, it would give you the full scale on the signal strength. And I had a couple of reel-to-reel audio recorders, taped audio recorders that use the Magic Eye tube as the modulation meter on that. You could see if you were running around. So looking good, sounding good. The Robin T123. This is the 1972 and before model. I don't think 23 Skidoo's doing the research on the Panasonic too. This is before that, so I'm not sure if it's still an early Panasonic chassis. I can't remember what he mentioned on that, but it's a decent sounding radio. Not a lot of them around. The 123B, of course, we hear, but the 123 not so much. But we're glad when it shows up. And as a driver, as an operator, you cannot go wrong when you're staring into the abyss of a 6RE13. Back to you for a transmission, and then we'll pick up Harvey. But thanks for radio number 3, the Robin T123. Over.
I appreciate the
Yeah, because SC bikes, and we have a new bike with a drone with a Modelo. And we have there's a couple bike shops out there. You can pick up a PK Ripper and all.
All right, very good, and sounding good. The Old Tube Radio Network. We're going to go to the Jingle Singers, and then we'll be back with Harvey on your Old Tube Radio Network.
Let's do some spelling.
OTR. 27.085 megahertz.
Next time we do this,
Channel
we
11,
might try
Old
that
Tube
channel.
Radio. Old Tube Radio.
And hello, 20, over.
Just cut a little bit of that.
Hello, Dennis.
Yeah, next time we do this, we might try it on channel 10. So
Okay,
keep your
this is a radio work in progress.
Yeah, any bike on lot. Good bike out there. Every single bike. 10 minutes.
Tuning. Then, well, I also should check the tubes, too. I haven't done that. This is a Johnson Messenger Whiteface. It's the
All right, maybe we're going to have an E.F. Johnson night tonight, looking for the E.F. Johnson. They had a lot of radios called Vikings and Messengers, and for 11 meters, this one, for some reason, just got the name the Messenger Whiteface, and there's a good reason for that. There it is. Take another transmission, and if you can, I don't know if you have a crossband radio in your shack?
The Ellen DeGeneres Show.
Do you have a crossband radio in your shack?
Yes, I do.
All right. Well, I don't. Can you do a simultaneous transmission?
Well, it doesn't hurt me. A W6 OTR on the crossband, and on this one too. KB6 GFD, W6 OTR.
KB6 WRW.
Yeah, that's perfect. So take another transmission and tell us a little bit more about the radio, what you mentioned last time, but go ahead and reiterate that on the dual mode here.
Okay. It's a Johnson Viking. Below the Viking head logo says Viking Messenger. Below the speaker it says Johnson. A little hard to read. It's got a bunch of tubes, 5 channels, 11's in there obviously. This radio is JT, South Carolina. Sent it to me to see if I can get it working. I finally got it to receive, and thanks to OTR, I've got it almost tuned up. I'm going to check the tubes, especially receive tubes, before I do any more tuning. But I thought I'd get it on the air in case he happens to be listening back east. W6 OTR.
All right, let me make sure. There we go. Make sure we're transmitting. And I will make sure I'm on 27085, so it sounds like you're trying to crystal control it in, get all the jeweled lights to be jeweled looking. And the audio is not too bad, but keep doing the double hop here so that we'll be able to hear you with information. And so that radio is from afar and may be going back and may be featured on Old Radio Night doing some DX. And my Viking Whiteface, whenever I had a receive problem, it was just the crystals were not in the socket right. They would vibrate out. I don't know if that's a common thing or not, but I would, tap the top and everything would come back. So I have a feeling your receive issue fix is not that easy. Over.
No, it's not. W6 OTR. Are you having trouble hearing me on the Viking?
There could be a good reason for that. So what you're doing is fine. Over.
Okay, I'm just using the Viking. Is there a problem? That seemed to be okay.
No, there's massive interference. So if you do the double transmission, we can hear you.
I need to do a double transmission? Okay. Dennis, come back to me on the crossband and tell me what's up.
Yeah, there's massive interference from the jammer. So if you can just do a double transmission, it would be good.
Oh, okay. So it's probably not on my end?
It is definitely not on your end.
Well, I looked at my end, And my end, unfortunately, looks the same as it always does.
Yeah, so just go ahead and just do a double transmission. So that way if it stops, we can pick you up. KB650.
Okay, W6OTR. Anyway, this is JT's, and as soon as I get done, it'll be going back to him, and I'll be working on some other stuff for him. Okay, let me turn it back to you. I got one more radio to do. Hopefully I won't need the crossband, but if I do, I do. W6OTR.
All right, no, it's good. It's got very good audio. I can't remember what microphone you said you were using. What microphone are you using with that over?
+2.
All right, got good loud audio, no distortion, no flat topping. So transmit-wise, you got it locked down, over.
Okay, W6OTR. Gotta remember, I gotta do two things at once. For me, that's hard. Okay, I'll get back on one of my other radios, and it's after 10. And I worked today, got back early enough, but I have to get up early in the morning. Okay, Dennis, thank you very much. W6OTR.
Very good. No rest for the wicked. You and me both. Someday we'll be retired, and it'll be fun on the radio. This is radio number 4, the E.F. Johnson Viking, or the Messenger. I don't even know if there's across the radio somewhere. It looks pretty plain, but I can't remember because I don't have one in front of me. Anywhere on that radio does it say Viking or Messenger, over?
W6OTR. Yes, it does. Below the Viking head in the upper left. Just to the right of the Viking head is a trademark with the circle around it. Then below the head, the Viking head says Viking. Below that, it says Messenger. Then you got your channel selector and your volume. Underneath the speaker, it says Johnson.
Yeah, okay, letting you know what it is you've got. But it is the E.F. Johnson Viking Messenger. Nowhere does it say whiteface. That was sort of a little moniker that people put on it that had it, and then blackface, but sounds good. Keep working on the receive, but the transmit is A-OK, over.
Hi, Roger. Well, with the exception of faraway stations, it seems to receive okay. When I unkey, if Sean and Sanger can key up, so I can see if I can hear him on this, then I'll really know how bad the receive is.
Yeah, you can hear me, but that doesn't mean a doggone thing. All right, well, we'll see if he's hearing you or can get through the QRM tonight. All right, 73, you are radio number 4. I didn't realize it is already 10 o'clock, so I might not hang out too late tonight, but I did want to get a couple of radios in because that is what we do best, the Old Tube Radio Network.
Hey, Sean, can you hear me?
I can, and ironically enough, I'm on a Viking Messenger as well, Harvey.
Okay, I can hear you clearly, but the signal, if I had a meter, would be very low. So I got to do a little bit more work on this. Okay, going to another radio. Thank you much.
Well, check in my Viking Messenger, Dennis, please.
I will do that. Boy, does the audio. Now, what microphone are you running? You have some big audio on that.
I am on the Turner Plus 3, and I thought that was kind of interesting because didn't he say JT's had a Turner Plus 2?
Yeah, the Plus 2. And again, both audio sounds good. That was one of the fortes of the E.F. Johnson, was the very nice transmit audio. And even though they wired a microphone in for you, if you were able to get the mic jack wired up or plug something in, you can hear how good it sounds with a little bit of extra audio help. Over.
Yeah, unfortunately, somebody drilled a hole in the front of this one, so one could switch to whatever microphone he wants, but I do have this Turner Plus 3 on there.
Well, maybe the hole was to let out the RFI in a good way. The jeweled lights are working. The audio is nice. Whatever you might be able to gather out of the replay, such that it would be, I think you will like what you might be able to hear. But in the meantime, it's doing a good job, and you can pair that. We used to talk to a station that loved the transmitter on that and would pair it with a Browning receiver, like an R2700A, because they thought the Brownings had a better receiver, which they probably, on that radio, I'll guarantee you the Brownings had a better receiver. But the transmitter, hard to beat with a little, even with no modification, but you could probably get in there and modify it for a business band output and do your audio thing like you're doing right now. Radio number 5, E.F. Johnson, Viking Messenger, back to you for a transmission, and then I may jump out of here. I want to catch probably one or two more radios from Harvey and whoever else can hear me out there, but Sangertown looking good. Likewise with the E.F. Johnsons. Over.
Yeah, appreciate the time.
All right, and the cacophony that might be the old tube radio network, jingle singers, there is magic, no matter what happens.
What are the magic numbers? 27.085 megahertz, channel 11. Are the magic letters? OTR.
Now, this is a little better music.
Right here in Fresno, California. Radio Magic. Old Tube Radio. For you.
All right, I want to say hello to Peter, who was in the mobile trying to see if he could get in tonight. We just don't have any conditions. Here on the AM side tonight, I haven't heard anybody coming in. We had a little bit of mini grass, barely, and the only station definitively that we chatted with tonight was Dwayne before the net, beaconing in from beautiful downtown northern Idaho. And I was going to go back to the DX map, and you can see there it is. There's nothing going on. Looking for the orange circles, and it's still showing Southern California, and now it's in Indiana. So all the stations that we'd be listening for aren't there. Let me see if Harvey, are you there? Did you have another check-in before we jump out tonight? Over.
Yes, I did. I think Joe's out there too. The R68, U68 by Browning Laboratories for Goldie Eagle. Just check that button in. Yeah, should be in for me tonight. Gotta get up early in the morning. So we'll catch you next week.
All right, good. We will be here next week. The new little rebuild of the antenna seems to be working okay. Sometimes an antenna can help with the receive. Sometimes it will receive more than you want. Yeah, sometimes it'll receive more than you want. Sometimes it'll receive everything you want. So looking good. We'll put down the R68 T68 Golden Beagle in, and get some rest and do your thing tomorrow, and maybe we'll catch you on the mobile radio.
60.
All right, 60, you are a brave man. We'll see if we can pick you up for Radio 7. Over. All right, what was the radio again? Over.
223.
Yeah, okay. And I kind of thought that we were going that way for the E.F. Johnsons tonight. Edgar F., it must be like his birthday or something, and he got on and said, you guys need to pull out the stops go to, Waseca, Minnesota, and pull out the best that you got. And that's what we're doing. Show you a 223. If you're watching the video and you have never seen one or owned one, there it is. Johnson took a while to get the Messenger, which we've heard tonight, the Viking Messenger white face, the Messenger 2, the black face, which was an update, and the Messenger 223, which was an update of that. Sort of that radio in the box, and add 23 channels and an S meter and say, this is the base station that you've been wanting. Back to you.
That's right there, Dennis. Doggone it. And thank you much for letting me check this one in. It is a well-lit radio. It does have a volume and a squelch. And a fancy-looking...
All right, my static is coming back, but you are well above that. All the dial lights working?
We're breaking up a little.
Nope.
Okay, Dennis, that'll do it for me tonight.
And just curious, are all the dial lights working on that?
Oh, yeah.
All right, I've never seen one of the lights out, but I know it sort of lights up the front with the channel selector and the meter, and there's probably an easy way to get in there and change the incandescent bulb. You've probably got a couple of them lying around.
It's a well-lit radio. The meter side looks good. The channel changes with a red. Looks like they painted the 9 red and the rest of the dial white.
Sounding good. In fact, you were on a radio earlier. The audio was a bit muffled. The audio on this radio is nice and clear.
Well, I'll be darned. This is the original stock mic, Dennis. This is the original stock mic. Looks like a Turner Plus 2, but it's...
Motherfucker!
It looks like a Turner Plus 2.
Piece of shit, you want to fight?
But has no dial for modulation. Okay, Dennis, thanks for letting me check this one in.
All right, my pleasure. That is why I'm here on a Saturday evening to do just that, to see as we get as many of the tube radios as we can. We've been doing it since, 1986. We're coming up on our 40th year, and at some point, somewhere, we're going to check in our millionth radio, and balloons will fall out of the sky everywhere that someone has a tube radio. E.F. Johnson, Messenger 223, their last of the big tube radios. I think they made a 250 and a golden anniversary version, but this was the one that sold a lot, put them on the map for their 11-meter radios, but of course they were business band, and E.F. Johnson made some great boat anchors in the 50s and 60s for ham radio, and started, as we noted a while back, in the 1920s, where Edgar F. said, it is the roaring 20s, let's open a business and see what we can do. And here it is, the 21st century, 2025, and their products still sounding good. Thanks for bringing it by.
Dennis, thank you a whole lot. We've got one more.
All right, we'll take one more. My guess it's a big blue radio. Over.
Not quite. This is a pretty green radio. This is my Robin 123B.
The Robin. I'm trying to think if we had a Robin tonight. We had the 123. So I think the 123B is a good complement with its green patina. Over.
Well, I'll tell you what, don't knock that other one. I like new features on this one. It's a well-lit radio.
On the near truck, on the fucking near truck, you a fucking near truck driver.
Right. Yeah, lights all around the radio there.
On the near truck, on the near trucker, on the near truck, back, and never.
But it's a good-looking radio, and it is really hot right now.
Literally and figuratively speaking, the green radio is hot to temp. Maybe you won't notice it because it was 105 today, so the radio is sort of room temperature now, or making the room temperature. If you're at oldtuberadio.net, we've got a picture of the Robin T123 up and running. This was the internal workings of the Panasonic number 2 chassis, which lived in many modes and various brands. This is one of them, the Robin T123B base mobile. They were all able to run a 12-volt system if you had the right plug, but a lot of people ran them right there like you're doing on the desk, sounding good. It is radio number 7. Back to you for transmission, and thanks for bringing it by.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you very much. Doggone, that'll do it for me. Have a pleasant night, Dennis, and doggone it, we didn't get to go to the green room. We were looking for some hot dogs and possibly some orange juice. It was on our mind anyway.
Well, I don't know about the hot dogs and the orange juice, but tonight, I don't know. Tonight, we just had a big wiener most of the evening. So we'll get the ice cream out here later. Over.
Okay. That sounds good.
All right. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radio's glowing in the dark. It's time for counting and amounting. We'll be back in a moment.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
All right, I agree. A nice Browning radio. 10:17 is the time. 10:17 is probably out there listening. And the Old Tube Radio Network, counting and mounting, and we'll get out of here in just a minute. And there's the static coming in tonight, but people making it over the top. So it must be something locally when all those pool filters and air conditioners get running at full speed. What's a radio operator to do? All right, let's get the jingle singers
Ladies and gentlemen,
here.
time now for the current OTR totals.
We'll call the current and final totals. We'll take a check of what happened on the shortwave listener side. 17 check-ins from page 1, 18 on page 2, 15 on page 3, and 20 on page 4 for a total of 35 and 35. That looks like 70. When it's at 100 degrees, a lot of people are not that ready, willing, and able to jump into the tube radio room. But the thing is, it's already warm anyway, so you don't notice the sticker shock of going from the air conditioned room into the tube radio room. So we appreciate all our stations that did stop by tonight and say hello, radio. A reminder that if you do something like this where you are at, wherever that might be, good for you, and let us know what kind of radios you are using throughout the week. What is your tube daily driver out there? On radios tonight, we had a total of 7, and the most heard manufacturers, hands down, were the E.F. Johnsons with 4. Started off with a car, a KAAR, Tango Romeo 326 coming out of Sanger, sounding pretty good tonight. Where we be able to get 100% copy, but what we did here was great. E.F. Johnson Messenger 223 starting it off. It was you, Joe, back at 9:30 with the first Messenger 223. So you must know something. It must have been Edgar's birthday this week. Radio number 3, the Robin T123. That's the Robin with the RE 613 Magic iTube in the front for you to check your modulation. Doing a good job with that. Radio number 4, the E.F. Johnson Viking Messenger Whiteface. That was from Harvey. Checking it out for JT. Hoping to hear and see that one on Old Radio Night. Beaconing on the airwaves somewhere. It should be a good thing. And transmit was certainly sounding good. So we get to receive dialed in. I think he was here in Sangertown, so you're 99% of the way there. Radio number 5, Sean and Sanger on his E.F. Johnson Viking Messenger with the +3 microphone and putting in some good low frequencies. So the Johnson transmitters, if you're into high fidelity audio, that might be a radio, the Messenger 1, or the Messenger 2, and the 223. Something to look up if you're into the high fidelity audio, because as proved tonight by both our stations. Radio number 6, the Browning Golden Beagle R68 T68 from Harvey. I'll have to check how many times that's checked in. 1,000? How many programs have we had? At least once every Saturday, times 52, times 40. Do the math on that one. The E.F. Johnson 223, the granddaddy of them all from E.F. Johnson. If you want tube radios, thank you, Joe, for radio number 7. You are listening to and have been listening to the old tired tube radio network. Sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't. Thanks for joining us tonight. And we will catch you on the air somewhere. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel. Don't forget the nets on Wednesday and Friday nights. And get on the air wherever you are on whatever frequency you are at. If you're working on your amateur radio ticket upgrade or first license, continue to do so, because we're still going to have some good conditions on cycle 25. And when they fall down and it is quiet, is it ever quiet? But it's quiet on your 11-meter radio. You'll be able to go somewhere and have a DX conversation. 72 plus 1 from the old Tube Radio Network.
Thanks a lot, Dennis, and good night.
Man, listen to that stuff. And that's with the AIP out. All right, the tube, the 6L6, will cease to glow. It'll be safe to touch in moments.